lot of work to do in this world, because not only do we have an education crisis, we have an economic crisis, right? We have an economic crisis where our minimum wage today, in the world where it should be $30 an hour. People that are out there picking tomatoes should be getting $30 an hour. Our minimum wage should be about $52,000 a year for everybody. And yet we see that many of our bankers and people that have caused a mortgage crisis are getting multi-millions of dollars. It's an obscenity, right? Because I don't care how much money you have, you can only get 2 meals a day. You can only get 2 meals a day. So we have got to come together, and we've got a lot of hard work to do. We've got a very important election coming up in just a few weeks, okay? And so we've got to get out there, and each one of us has got to become an organizer. We've got to go out there and call 3 or 4 or 5 of our friends and say, you've got to vote the right way. We've got to get feminists, which can be men also, right? The men that support us, like the ones in the schools, they also need to help us take power. And they've got to support us to do that. And, I want to just say one quick word about the immigrant issue. We have to remember, unless you're Native American, your people came from somewhere, right? We're undocumented people here, and supporting our students to get the DREAM Act, kids that were brought here because they didn't know that they were not U.S. citizens, all right? And when they come up with this obscenity of the 14, Senator Kyle, the majority leader of the Republican Party in the Senate, is saying, let's revisit the 14th Amendment. What is that about? 14th Amendment gave the descendants of slaves who did all the work in this country, just like our undocumented people are doing, but the 14th Amendment gave them the right to become citizens and the right to vote. Senator Kyle is saying, let's revisit the 14th Amendment. These crazy people are actually considering how can they take away the citizenship of children born in the United States if their parents are not citizens. Isn't that outrageous? It's anti-constitutional. So all of these things, like what's happened in Arizona, SB 1070, like Prop 187 here in California, it's anti the Constitution of the United States, and we should not put up with it or stand with it. So we've got to... continue to end sexism, absolutely. And I guess many of us are in the age now who want ageism also, right? But we also have to think of ending racism. We have to go from the position of diversity, which we need, the voices of people of color and of women, and we've got to go from diversity to eliminating racism altogether. That way they cannot use that race card the way that they're doing it now against people of Latino extraction primarily, right? So I want to, I know that everybody in this room wants to end racism, right? So one way to do this is just to remember that we are one human race. There's only one human race. We have a lot of different ethnic groups, we have a lot of different cultures, nationalities, but only one human race. And what is the scientific name of our human race? Homo sapien, right? We learned that in the 3rd grade. But we have to remind ourselves of that we are just one human family, right? And where did our human family begin? Africa. What does that tell us? That tells us that we are all Africans. Yes. Our human race went across the planet, went to Asia, got lighter in skin, came down to the Bering Strait to the Americas, and one of our tribes got lost. They went up north where it's very cold, and they got very white, right? And now you have to go to the tanning salon or to the beach to get your color back. Share a word with you, the comes from South Africa. And, when we think of one human family and remember that we're all Africans, then we have to defend each other and support each other, work for each other. And then we can say to groups like the Ku Klux Klan, White Citizens Council, the Minutemen, and some of those Tea Party folk, get over it, you're Africans, okay? is the word Mexican. Mexican, it's politically correct. You can say Mexican, okay? So, and the indigenous word for Mexican is Mexica. Mexica. And what Mexican means in the indigenous language is people. People. So those people that are anti-Mexican are really anti-people, right? Mexica. Okay. So the word I want to share with you is a word from South Africa. It's a Zulu word. And it means we are coming together, the Mexica, the people, the feminists, right? We are coming together to fight for justice. And the word is Wozani. Can you say that word? Wozani. Okay, so I want all of us to shout that word Wozani at the top of our lungs, so all of the bigots, the homophobes, okay, the racists, right, the sexists, the atheists, they can hear us out there. We're going to send our spirit just soaring, just the way that Reverend Franny wanted us to do that, okay? So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. We're going to shout Wozani. Everybody, please, out there at the top of our lungs, okay? Wozani. 1, 2, 3. One more time, but louder. 1, 2, 3. And then, can we, as feminists, run for office, get that public campaign financing that we need so that we don't have to be millionaires to win, right? Can we do this? Can we make sure that women not only matter, but that women rule? Because we will not have peace in this world unless women rule, right? So we have to say, can we do it? And this is a slogan that I came up with, by the way. I authored it. As feminists, we have to take credit for our work, right? And of course, Obama used it in his campaign, yes we can. And when I met Obama, he said, I stole your slogan. And I told him, yes you did. Okay? So, the slogan in Spanish is, si se puede. So let's all put our hands up and say, we're going to make sure that women rule. And we're going to get rid of racism and sexism and homophobia and all these terrible things and fight for the working people of this country. So we'll say, si se puede. Let's put our hands up and do an organized hand clap. Let's go. Si se puede.